If you're a teacher thinking of leaving the profession, here's my heart to heart. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So I would encourage you to own your story, and your impact, skills, and passion are still valid. They just need a new direction.
Meet Krishna. She's the founder of Career Youniverse, once teacher, now an expert and coach, assisting clients in career pivoting. She has worked with clients from all industries, but has personal insight to support teachers pivoting from education to other career paths. Wait till you hear what advice she shares for resume tailoring and successful interview preparation. And it all starts now.
Welcome to 85 After School. I'm your host, Nicole, and this is the podcast about teacher career and retirement planning through real-life stories of those who live it.
It's my great pleasure to welcome our next guest, Krishna, and she is the founder of Career Youniverse, so that's Youniverse, and she's a career reinvention specialist, and I'm so happy that you could be here with us today, Krishna, because I know you have a ton of information for our summer special series on teachers who are looking into pivoting their careers. So welcome to the show, Krishna.
Thank you, Nicole, for that warm welcome. I'm so excited to be here today in our podcast, and I hope to be useful and helpful to the teachers who are looking to pivot in their career.
Oh, I know you will be listened to by many, many people because you have so much experience and you have such a great outlook on how to support teachers who are looking to pivot from the teaching career. So I'm very excited to hear all about it and the support that you can provide to our listeners. But I'm also very curious for you to tell your own story. So tell me about your own career path.
Absolutely. So my journey has been anything but linear. That's what makes it relatable with my clients, I believe. And the reason I have more teachers come to me is I started my journey as a teacher myself. So I started as a teacher and then I pivoted into the learning and development, becoming a curriculum developer, content writer. So I got into the corporate field and then I explored a little bit of facilitation and learning program management. And finally, I moved into the university where I was career development specialist. And now I am here in my own, passion project, the Youniverse, where I'm the reinvention specialist. So I have transitioned across industries, from education, corporate, nonprofit, academia, and like entrepreneurship now, and also having navigated life across 3 different countries, starting in India, then for 17 years in Saudi Arabia, and now in beautiful Vancouver in British Columbia. So at one point of time, I realized that titles, job roles, even resumes, they don't define us, but our identity does. And that's why I founded Career Youniverse to help people build careers from the inside out using my signature identity reinvention method.
Oh, I like that. And I like how your journey has evolved as beginning in the teaching profession and then using all those skill sets to really pivot into providing the career support to the clients. Well, in university first, to the youth, and then now as an entrepreneur yourself. You hinted a little bit at being able to reflect inward. So what assistance have you been able to provide for teachers who wanted to pivot to another career?
This method actually blends deep self-discovery with actionable career strategies. So I believe it's never about starting over. It's always about becoming or evolving who we were always meant to be. So many teachers approach me like they feel stuck, undervalued, or burned out. But with this powerful foundation of skills, I help them reconnect with their core strengths that goes beyond their classroom. And then we together identify their transferable skills and align them with in-demand roles. And we rebuild their career identity with confidence and clarity. So most importantly, the teachers, what they miss is translating their teaching experience into market language, that hiring managers and other industries understand. So it's about building that bridge to communicate and understand, speaking the same language. So I have seen teachers pivot into roles like learning and development, instructional design, coaching, or project coordination and all. And they just don't leave teaching behind. They carry the essence of it forward, just in a new way.
I like how you said that, Krishna, speaking the same language, because teachers that have been in education for a long time have kind of a code on their own. And they use all these acronyms that if you speak to anyone outside of the education realm, they have no idea. Yeah. IEP, ASD, ADD, ODD, all these acronyms we have in teaching.
The teaching lingo.
Exactly. Maybe Duolingo needs to come up with a language that's for teachers, right?
Yeah.
So I like how you say you need to really look at the skills at the core and then translate them for the market that you're going to. So in general, or in your experience or belief, what are the top 5 transferable skills that teachers really possess?
Right. So I believe we as teachers are masters in communication. Most of us, we know how to simplify the complex ideas, and I myself say I create content in triple E concept, that is easy to understand, effective, and essential. So we know how to break it down to different learning styles. So I believe we are masters in communication. That's one of our top transferable skills. And then we are good at managing classrooms or large group of audience, leading teams, organizing events, or facilitating learning process. So we are good at leadership and facilitation. And as teachers, we know a lot about adaptability. We have to pivot every day in the classroom according to the students, learning speed, the curriculum, and the challenges that we face day to day. And that also brings us to be a problem solver. We are natural troubleshooters. We are always, constantly innovating creatively, like improvising and trying to understand how best we can make an impact and make the learners understand, right? And the last one, like the fifth one, what I believe is gold in the workplace is emotional intelligence. We as teachers are people person, I believe. Like we have that inbuilt patience and empathy and people skills. And so I believe these five things are the great transferable skills that any industry would not want to miss.
I love that. I love that you are so succinct in identifying skills that probably most teachers take for granted now. And so I'm wondering, and I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but I'm wondering if you can give an example if we look at these five skills of communication, managing classrooms, the adaptability, the problem solver, and the highly emotional intelligent individual. If somebody was pivoting, for example, from the classroom, they really wanted to do project management, how the lingo is so different in the classroom or in the education realm, how would they start by looking at that?
Right. So when they are thinking about project management or even a learning program coordination, right? So all these skills do become useful over there as well. For example, if they want to own their story in an interview, right? They can say, like, I once managed a class of 30 students with diverse learning needs. So I designed inclusive lesson plans, collaborated with parents and specialists, and I saw like a 40% improvement in overall participation. So this in the industry of project management mirrors project coordination and maybe like stakeholder management. Right? So we are taking our teaching story into a business relevant outcome. And that's where the magic happens, right? When we take what we are doing and put it in the language of the industry where we are headed into. So it's just the way we say our story and own it. It's not like we are getting into something new.
Yeah, and you did something very natural, which may not come natural to most teachers, is you put in metrics. If we're looking at advice and tangible tips, how should a teacher prepare a resume to be seriously considered for a non-education job? Because it's often assumed that if your narrative or your story is giving an example from the classroom, oh, that's a teacher, they can't translate that. They don't have a clue of how this works in a project management corporation or whatever it may be. So what advice do you have for preparing a resume for a teacher who's pivoting to be seriously considered for a non-education job?
Right. So the secret is like reframing, right? It's not just about rewriting. So we encourage our teachers to lead with a professional summary that reflects their desired industry, not where they are or what they have done, but matching it to the language of their desired industry and the keywords used over there. So like we discussed a little bit before, like replacing the school lingo, with the corporate world or the business relevant terms. Like initially I was working in nonprofit, so I used to say clients, but when I moved to academia and the university, they were students, so we need to adapt to those languages or keywords that's used in the job description. So instead of like stakeholder engagement, we say parent teacher meetings, right? So that's the stakeholders engagement in the other industry. And like how I just mentioned, we need to quantify where possible, to show the outcome. It's all measured, right? So like improved student performance by 20%. So that's like a strong achievement that we have done. So we encourage the teachers, tailor each resume to the keywords in the job description. And we help them to build a value proposition resume that shows not just what they have done, but what they can do next.
And so when you are consulting with a teacher or a client who is pivoting to another industry, you look at their current resume, or do you start from scratch?
So we do take it from where they are. So we look at their resume and we try to understand like what they believe is their strengths and like who they are at that present moment. And then we sit down, we brainstorm and like we try to find out what's their skills, strengths, transferable skills, and who have they become now and who are they wanting to evolve as. So we try to help them reflect and bring out that ikigai, where their skills, their passion, and what the market needs. We try to come to that center point, and that's where we help them see themselves in a new perspective. So there are so many pieces that you're missing, and these things could be, injected into your resume in a more effective way, and that the recruiters would be able to understand and see you for who you are becoming. And then we start working on their resume in a new light, and that builds their confidence as well. Like, oh, I'm a new person, and I do see myself fit into the industry where I'm heading into.
So a lot of it is mental preparation so that you already see yourself. And I know that you always look at the top 3 things to remember when pivoting to another career, and you have an acronym. Maybe you can explain a little bit about your CAR acronym.
Okay, about my CAR acronym. So the CAR acronym is more about, when they are approaching the job search. It's like a job search strategy where they're approaching the companies or the recruiters out there. What I look into more is the START acronym.
Okay.
So the approach that we follow at Career Youniverse is more of a START framework. So that starts with your strength discovery. So where we gain clarity on your unique strengths, values, and the personality. So we believe in a 5-dimensional psychometric career assessment that sets the foundation for an aligned career path.
So that's really, they answer, let's say 30 questions, almost like those personality tests.
Yes, so there's no right or wrong answer. Like you have to answer at the moment, like who you are, right? So that brings out a better reflection of who you are. So we do have brainstorming sessions, but then this is another method or tool that we use, which gives us clarity towards that ikigai, which I just spoke about, right?
Right.
So this is where I wish to start, and that has been really effective with all our clients, and that is the deep self-discovery and reflection. So many people in RBC, they are always running the race of our career ladder and all that stuff. Then people do not pause or reflect. So it's a career. It's more about a career lab than a career ladder.
Oh, I like that.
So if people can take that time, pause, reflect, and understand who they are, so that will go a long way in their pivoting journey. They will confidently own their story. And when they are able to see who they are, the world would see them, the world would hear them. So that's the first step in the framework, is strength discovery. And then we tailor the career plans for them. So what could be the possible career options for them, transition, reinvention, like with actionable goals. And then we apply with confidence. So we work on their resume, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles, elevator pitches, like interviews, networking, etc. So we go forward with confidence in our direction. And then like the R in the start, like we believe in refining our essential skills. Right. So some of the skills that we discussed now are transferable skills, that those have come with us for a long time. But there are some other skills that we can develop, like that's required for the new role that we are moving into, like technical skills or some tool knowledge. And so those gaps can be filled. And finally is like transforming your mindset and your brand. So that's what the T stands for. So we help them develop a powerful personal brand. And like you said, 80% is our mindset. So when we start believing who we are and then putting forward ourselves confidently in the market, and that's when like we unlock our potentials or opportunities come to us. Right? So this is the START framework that we follow in Career Youniverse. And the CAR framework is more in job search strategies.
Can you briefly describe that as well?
Yeah, so the CAR strategy is where the third step, where we are applying with confidence. So we follow a structure called CAR, where we target the companies in the industries, that we look forward to. So we have our own job search action plan strategy. So that's different for each one. So how many companies they are targeting at, what are the dream companies hiring or like, growing in the industry. And then we talk about alumni. So the word alumni came from the industry, like my university where I was. So it was relevant to the students, but it can be even to your peers, your colleagues who have, pivoted from being a teacher into the industry. So you would have connections already in the industry. So it's reaching out to your network, and R stands for the recruiters. So recruiters can be recruitment agencies, the HR, or even, team members in your same level of category in the new company. So we help you generate the lead. You make a list of all these people out there, you generate the lead, and then you reach out to them, network, and you build your network consciously. So that would help you create large list of leads even before you're pivoting. So you're not jumping into a place blindly, but you're creating the base for you strategically and then moving towards it intentionally.
I love everything you're saying, Krishna, and I can see the root of your teacher coming out because you're super organized and you stay on target. Because I imagine a journey of pivoting sometimes can feel like wandering. So I think this is incredible, helpful for anyone who is always thinking about it but doesn't even know where to start. And you have that beautiful acronym START in order to help the teachers pivot.
The beauty there is like when you're thinking about a transition or pivoting, you're not in a place of pressure. Like you are making the decision consciously. So when you are making it from a place of calm, not chaos, you can plan out all these things. So I use a metaphor like you're not the dartboard. When you keep, putting the darts everywhere, you get nowhere, right? But when you focus and you hit the target, you definitely achieve what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And when teachers are the security of their job, but they're thinking about pivoting, they don't quit right away. This is a work in progress. And like you said, you don't have to do it under fire. There may be people who are, that have left due to illness or something and really don't want to go back. And then what do? But the best chances of pivoting successfully is when you do it strategically and think through.
And they don't have to do it alone. Like there are a lot of people out there who have done it. And like we are here at Career Youniverse or other career specialists. So we are willing to walk with you step by step. It's just like realizing, reframing your mindset and then doing it together.
I love that. And I'm wondering, and maybe this is too specific of a question, but when you've worked with teachers who are pivoting and you're at that point where they are, their resume is getting them to the point where they're getting interviews, how do they respond to interview questions when all their experience is related to the classroom teaching or working in a school?
Yeah. So initially, like I said, it's about trying to understand the keywords or like speaking the language in that industry. And the main thing, like I said, 80% is like owning your story with confidence. We don't have to feel like we are starting from scratch. We are starting from experience and we have a purpose or passion that we are moving into, like we are becoming or evolving towards a new career path, right? So I encourage them to use the STAR method. You must have heard about that. And so it's like situation, task, action, and result. So the example that I gave you just a bit before, like how we manage 30 students with diverse learning needs, and like I quantified the outcome. So when you are in an interview and you're faced with situational questions or behavioral questions, I would encourage the teachers to share from their own classroom experiences. But how can that be translated into the industry that they are going into in the language of that industry? And just be confident owning it and knowing that they can do it and they wish to problem solve that for and add value for the new industry. Again, I believe like 80% is the mindset.
Absolutely. If you go in confident and you know that the skills are transferable and you've upped some other skills for industry specific, I'm wondering if you've had feedback from teachers who have pivoted, gone through an interview process on how well that has worked.
Oh, yes. So during my interview practice sessions, we practice that a lot. So there's a worksheet that we use, and we already create stories from their experiences before. So they are already ready with 5 to 10 stories on time management, on classroom management or curriculum designing. So what are their key skills? So we have a story for all of that. And if it's a situational question or a behavioral question, the clients are confident and they have practiced. They know, so they just fit the different stories into it, and it doesn't feel rehearsed. It just feels confident. They know like what they are speaking, what they are bringing. And I would like to add here, most of the times it has worked to the point in a right way. And sometimes our clients have been questioned back with a follow-up question like, still, you do not have a real experience, right? Like all these things like you have done, it's transferable, but you don't have real experience. So that's where like they bring their passion and purpose and they say like, we are quick learners, I have upskilled and this is what I want to do really. And I believe like all these things would add my flavor and my color to the role. And that has never gone wrong. Like they just wanted to understand if you're really into it or can you learn and grow. And as Canadians, we always love people who are asking questions, willing to learn and adapt. And that has worked.
Yeah, that's so true. I love that you added that on because it's funny because there's still a gender divide in the research where men get hired on potential and women get hired based on the results that they've gotten in the past.
I would like to add something there. I read somewhere the men, when they see a job description, even if they are 60% or 50% ready, they go for it. They try their luck or they're like, I'm willing to learn, I'm willing to adapt. Like what is there to lose, right? But women, like we want to be perfect. Like we look at all the job description list and like 100% is even if we are missing one of the requirement, we tend to sit and think. But I believe like if we have 60% of what the recruiter is looking for and the rest can be bridged, if we are adaptable, if we are a quick learner, all those things can be built up.
Oh, absolutely. And teachers in general are lifelong learners. They're curious. They want to find things out. So that in itself should be presented when they answer those behavioral situational questions. I'm curious to know, Krishna, when you work with clients, what does that look like? So let's say I'm a teacher, I'm going to pivot. I want to get into instructional design as an example.
Right.
How would my consultation with you go?
So initially we would have a discovery call, whoever is interested in pivoting or thinking of a transition. So they reach out to me for 15 minutes to 30 minutes discovery call. So I try to understand their need, their requirement, like where do they come from? They are burnt, they are lost, or what are they looking forward to? Or have they already done a little bit of research and what kind of support they need? And then I try to recommend a pathway for them. We could sit down and do this initial assessment for you, like skills analysis, your value proposition, and then we can move on to your resume building or your action plan, what would be a new direction, and all the other steps until they land a job, looking for a job, interview skills and all that. But I have had teachers on different levels. I have had teachers who come into me in the career clarity call with already being clear. They know what they have, they know their skills, they know where they want to head to. They just want to navigate the path. And I have had teachers who are complete beginners, lost with no clue. So we need to start from the beginning skills analysis. So according to where they are and what is the support they need, I try to design the sessions for them. So it's completely customizable according to their situation and need. And then we work on their specific personal action plan, customized job search. It's all different with each person.
It's so tailored to the individual, which is a wonderful experience.
Yes. And also to the specific industry they wish to go to. So like you said, it could be instructional designing, or it could be a facilitator, it could be nonprofit learning program coordinator. So it's different, right? So it has to be completely tailored.
Yeah, I like that. So I know we're going to put this information in the show notes, but what's the easiest way for anyone who's listening that is curious and wants to get a hold of you? How can they contact Career Youniverse?
So I have my calendar out there. They could reach out to me and book a career clarity call with me directly. Or I have also shared my WhatsApp contact number, so they can just WhatsApp me and reach out to me. It's that easy.
Oh, wonderful. And you're on LinkedIn as well. So anyone that's looking to connect professionally can find you on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. Yes.
And we'll put all your contact information in the show notes. You mentioned it really earlier on. I'm wondering how important is it for a teacher to build their brand in today's job market? Even if they're like, I think teaching's okay, I'm going to hang in there. It's still important to build a brand. Why?
Yeah. So not just for teachers, right? Like for everyone out there in today's evolving world, like AI, digital market and all that stuff. I believe like career branding is non-negotiable. So like career brand isn't just our title, right? Like even if we are not looking to pivot, even if we are not looking for a different job. So I believe like we have to put out ourselves out there, like what is the problems we are solving and what value we can bring. So I encourage everyone, not only teachers, like even students who are yet to begin their career journey, optimize your LinkedIn profiles and make it like a reflection of your thoughts, what problems you solve, what values you bring. Speak from a point of expertise. You can highlight your passion projects or side skills, and you can also connect with people in the community, right? Like who are looking to reinvent, who are looking to transition, or who are teachers like us. So who align with our interests. So I believe like branding builds visibility, and that visibility attracts opportunity.
I like you mentioned it twice. What problems do you solve? We are so quick to answer, what do you do for a living? Yeah. And you answer the job title instead of answering by the problems that you solve on a daily basis. Because if teachers switch their mindset just to answer the questions of what problems they solve, oh my gosh, they make so many decisions during the day and solve so many problems during the day that it would be a much longer conversation than just responding with teacher.
Yeah, and not just teachers, like when someone is job seeking, as job seekers, we tend to feel like, I have a timeline, I need to get a job, I can do anything, you just give me a job. But the recruiters are looking at it from a different perspective. Like, what do I get from you? Like, what do you bring to the table? Like, how can you help me? Right? Like, I have a project, I have a team. So how can you problem solve for us? So if any job seeker can, switch or reframe their mindset from a job seeker to a problem solver, they would be heard and seen very effectively.
Very good advice. Absolutely. Krishna, you've given us so many things to think about and so much great tangible advice. I know that the listeners will be jumping to the show notes and then to the links to get a hold of you and read more about your method of supporting teachers who may wish to pivot or any other client out there. I'm wondering, as we wrap up, in a sentence or two, what is that one piece of advice you'd like to leave for teachers who are considering leaving the profession to pursue another career?
If you're a teacher thinking of leaving the profession, here's my heart to heart. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. So I would encourage you to own your story. And your impact, skills, and passion are still valid. They just need a new direction, right? So reinvention is absolutely possible, and you don't have to do it alone. Allow your learning and growth mindset to pop out, and do it along with all the reinventors community out there. And anyone listening to this can reach out to me at Career Youniverse, and I would be happy to walk with you step by step, helping you gain the clarity, confidence, and direction to create a career that truly fits who you're becoming.
No, I love that. I love that for sure. Krishna, it's been such a pleasure. You're the founder and the owner of Career Youniverse. You're an entrepreneur who started as a teacher and using many of those skills now in your daily work. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here today. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Nicole. It was wonderful participating in the podcast. Thank you for the opportunity, and I hope it helps the teacher community and many pivotters out there.
Oh, I know it will. Thank you again, Krishna.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you know when new episodes are uploaded. We'd also love to hear your feedback. Leave a review or connect with us on Instagram or Facebook at 85 After School. Hey, if you're interested in being a guest, be sure to email us directly, 85afterschool@gmail.com. That's 85afterschool@gmail.com. Until the next episode, be good to yourself